Hello friends and fellow seekers of the good, true, beautiful. It's Mike here, and for this month's Identity Matters, and maybe for several into the future, I wanted to begin providing a little bit more of personal interaction with you, and thought that this month I would just create a video and share with you a practice. This practice has been foundational for me for the last handful of years as a coach, and has been foundational in my work with all of my clients. And it's called the Four Centers practice. It's a way of checking in with yourself. And I'll tell you a little bit about the foundational origins of this. Several years ago, I got certified in the Enneagram assessment and the Enneagram instrument. And if you're unfamiliar with the Enneagram, it is a very ancient kind of assessment for spiritual and personal development. It is unlike any other assessment in the sense that it isn't like a snapshot assessment where it's so like, oh, you're this type of person, or you like this, or this is your style. It's much more about unveiling the patterns and motivations that have historically governed the way you interact with life. And more or less the way I like to put it is it reveals to you the game you're playing with yourself, and then shows you a path from that state or that place toward wholeness, where you can become a more fulfilled but more whole human being. Because all of us play some kind of game that we developed early on that helped us survive, helped us get through life effectively. But that game comes with a cost, and it comes with limitations. And as we get older, we begin to encounter those limitations and those costs more profoundly. And so the Enneagram helps you transcend the games that used to help you survive and now are a hindrance to you. That's kind of the short version of what the Enneagram is. But as a part of the Enneagram, it identifies that we each have what they would call these three centers of intelligence. This is intuitively obvious when I describe it to you, but they make it overt in the way that they talk about their instrument. They talk about the head being a center of intelligence, the heart being a center of intelligence, and the gut being a center of intelligence. And we kind of all experience this, I think, as I said, intuitively in our lives. You think one thing, like you think, oh, I think I should do this, but your heart wants to do something else, and your gut maybe has an instinctive response to do a third thing. We're often find ourselves in conflict internally with ourselves because our three centers of intelligence are not all in agreement with each other about which direction we should go or what we should be doing. That is what the Enneagram focuses on. And personally, as a person of faith, I think there's a fourth center of intelligence, what I would call spirit, and I would identify spirit as being that deeper center than all three of those, that is able to observe the other three, and is always at peace, is always unaffected or untriggered or unhooked by anything that might be going on within our world, and is always connected to the deepest source of wisdom in our life. Again, from my faith perspective, that is God and Christ, and that idea also, I think, is a great center of intelligence with us. So this four center practice is one that I have been using now for years to great benefit, and so I wanted to share it with you today. I'll provide a link below that links to a PDF that you can download and use in your own practice, or give it a try. But it's really quite simple. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen. If you prefer to do it creatively, I recommend that, like just to create whatever kind of artistic or creative expression of this you want. But the basic idea is to divide a sheet of paper into 4 quadrants, and to label each quadrant body, heart, mind, and spirit. And then as a part of the check-in, and I recommend you do this in the morning, it's one of the best times to do it. You can also do it at night before you go to bed. But to start with your body, and the whole point of it is to do a check-in with each quadrant of each center of intelligence, and to find out what's going on in that center of intelligence in this moment. And what, if any, wisdom or insight or desire that part of you is wanting you to become aware of in this moment? What does your body want? What does your heart want? What does your mind want? What does your spirit want, right? So that's the basic idea. So here's how it goes. You start with your body. Always start with your body first to ground you in the present moment. Just by doing a body scan, taking a few deep breaths, noticing what are you experiencing in your body. Make a note of that on your paper, like, oh, I feel some tension here, I feel loose, I feel warm, I feel great, I feel peaceful, I feel stressed, I feel pain. Whatever it is, you just make a note of it. And then as you get connected to the entity of your body, to that part of your intelligence, and think about your that instinctive intelligence that lives kind of in your body, and then ask, like, what is my instinctive, my gut intelligence telling me right now? What does my gut want to do today? What is my instinctive intelligence telling me to do right now? If no one else got a vote and I just went with my gut, what would I be doing right now? Just write that down, whatever it is. This does not have to take long. It might just be like a simple word or two, could be a simple phrase. And it can take as long as you want as well. So just make it your own. Once you have clarity around that, move on to your heart. And that's obviously your heart center, wherever that is for you. For most people, it's in their solar plexus. It can help if you put your hand on your heart. Just breathe into that part of your intelligence, that deep, heart-centered space of intelligence. This is not just your emotions, by the way, though it is your emotions, but it is also your deep sense of memory, your deep sense of faith or courage, all live in the space of your heart. And so getting connected to your heart and just notice what your heart is feeling. Like, what are you experiencing in your heart in this moment? And it might be, again, peace, might be dissonance, might be fear, might be joy, happiness, whatever it is. Just make a note of what's there. No judgment, nothing's wrong. Just make a note of what's there. And then again, get connected to that deep voice of your heart. Say, what is your heart's desire for you today? If your heart could drive the car of your life today, where would it drive you to? Where would it take you? What would it want for you to do today? And then just write that down. No judgment, nothing like that. Just write it down. Once that's clear, then move on to your mind. And you'll notice how these energies shift, like how your sense of yourself will shift as you move from one to the other, particularly when you go to your mind. Because usually when you go to your mind, almost immediately you'll start thinking about shoulds, oughts, to-dos, pressures, urgencies, things, must-haves, must-dos, things like that. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's what your mind is for. It's a project manager. So go to your mind and just connect with what's happening in your mind first. Like, just notice the busyness or lack of busyness that's happening in your mind. There is a phrase that the Buddhists use called the monkey mind, and it's this idea of how your thoughts are just always bouncing all over the place. And if that's happening, just go, wow, my thoughts are bouncing all over the place. And they're zipping around from one thing to another. Or if it's more calm and sedate, make a note of that. It's more like a little stream flowing, or it's more like a rushing river, whatever it happens to be. And if there's something that's really top of mind, you can say, oh man, my mind's really obsessed about this one thing at the moment. Just put that down. But then lean into the intelligence of your mind and say, if my mind, the deep intelligence of my mind were to give me directives today, what are the directives my mind would give me about what's important today, or what's urgent, and maybe more urgent in some cases with your mind, but what it considers to be important today. So then write those down. Try not to let it go crazy though. Like, you don't need to make a list of 20 things. Just write 2 or 3 maybe of the most important things that are on your mind today. Once that's done, then let that go, step away from that, from the heart, from the body, and just connect to spirit. And how you might do that is to think about the part of you that is observing all of that interaction between body, heart, and mind. The part of you that might even, as some of the great teachers have said, lives outside of your body. Like we've been told at times that your soul lives in your body. It may be more accurate to say that the body lives inside the soul, that your soul is actually bigger than your body. Your spirit, I would say, is maybe bigger than your body. And so like that deep part of you that is intimately connected to your deepest wisdom, if you are a person of faith that is connected to Christ, that is one with Christ, that is one with God, that is one with the Great Spirit, and just lean into that place. And within my own faith, within Christian faith, this practice would be called listening prayer or two-way prayer. It's the idea of that you and God are in a communion-based conversation. So leaning into that place, notice what your spirit is experiencing as it's observing your mind, your heart, and your body. And just write a few words that might capture the essence of what that experience is in this moment, and then ask of your spirit, or ask of the Great Spirit, what do you want me to know today? What do you want me to know about today? Or about myself today? Or about what's important today? Anything like that. And just whatever comes, write it down. No judgment. Don't try to parse it out or interpret it. Just write it down. And then as that gets clear, that can be a line, that could be a paragraph, that could be a page. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just whatever it is, it is. Once that's done, then step back and go back and read everything. What the body intelligence said, what the heart intelligence said, what the head intelligence said, and what your spirit intelligence said. And then the operative question here is, where is the full alignment? Or where is the alignment trying to happen? Like, the best actions that we can take are those where our body intelligence, our heart intelligence, our mind intelligence, and our spirit are all lined up and all in alignment. So what is the thing you could do today that has all four of your intelligences in full alignment and wanting to do that thing? And if you can find that, and there will be at least one thing, probably more than one, but at least one, if you can find that, make that thing the top priority of your day. And then look for, like, what are the other things that are maybe secondary or tertiary to that I want to focus on today. But never, if you can help it, never do more than 2 or 3 things on that must-do list. Because that's really all we humans are built for, is like, give me 2 or 3 things to knock out, and then everything else will be bonus for the day. But I'll tell you that I have used this now for at least, 4 years, I guess, and it has been such a game changer for me in helping me to parse through my monkey mind, parse through my dissonant heart, parse through the confusion that often exists when I disagree with myself, when my head, my heart, and my gut all kind of want different things. But I'm able to bring them into alignment just by doing this practice. And it has been such a benefit to me finding the aligned path, for me following the track of my own life in a way that is pure and clean, that is true, that feels right, and that produces good fruit because I'm in alignment with myself and I'm in alignment with God at the same time, and that just really works well. So that's the tool I want to share with you today. This is why I started with it, because it's foundational to almost everything else I'm going to share with you on this channel, and just want to start with this. Make this a part of your day, every day if you can, at least 2 or 3 times a week, and it will make a difference for you. Thanks a lot. This is the way. Let's walk in it. I'll see you soon.